Hello and welcome back everyone. I am Shivani Garg, Assistant Professor from IIMT University. In the previous 3 lectures of control system, we have studied about the basics of control system and transfer function representation using block diagram. In this particular lecture, we will be studying about the block diagram reduction techniques and signal flow graph. So let's start today's lecture. So first is block diagram reduction. So we have a block diagram reduction refers to the simplification of block diagrams. We may have the number of blocks in the series parallel, or we may have number of summing points, cascade points, or takeoff points. So we can simplify it into a simple single block diagram representation, and we can simply calculate the transfer function using it. So simplification enables easy calculation of overall transfer function. If we simplify this block diagram, we can simply easily calculate the transfer function of the overall system, which would be difficult to calculate from the complete block diagram. So simplification is done using certain rules. So we have certain rules for we have certain rules for simplification of block diagrams. All these rules are derived by simple algebraic manipulation. So these are all of these rules are related to simple algebra. So let's see these rules. So first one is to combining the blocks in cascade or series. So if the main basic condition for reducing this is the output should not change. Output should be same. For example, here we are getting output as UG1. Here also we are getting the output as UG1, G2. So output should not change of any block. So let's see. So if we are converting this cascaded system, we have a input U and a block in G1 and G2 in cascade, and then we are getting a output Y, which is equal to UG1, G2. We can simply convert this into a single block with G1 transfer function G1 into G2, and we are getting U as input and Y. So we get that transfer function Y by U is equal to G1 G2. Okay. So next rule is to combine the blocks in parallel. So if 2 blocks are connected in parallel, so we have given a input U and we are getting here as output as Y. So this is U and this is also U. We are taking the same input. So output would be UG1 and here the output would be UG2. So from this summing point we would get this is plus, so UG1 plus minus UG2. Okay, so we can combine these 2 blocks in a single block with G1 plus minus G2, and again we get U as input and Y as output. So this is the rule for combining blocks in parallel. Next rule is to eliminate the feedback loop. So again we have a input U, we have a output Y. So we have a output Y and we have a block, forward block G and a feedback block H. So what we have, we are taking as it as Y. This is the output Y, so we are taking is Y. Here we are getting YH. So here we are getting U plus minus YH. Okay, so here in output what we are getting, if we see here we are getting Y is equal to, this is Y, so Y is equal to G into U plus minus YH. So if we simplify this, what we get, Y is equal to G U plus minus G Y H, or Y minus plus G H Y is equal to G U. So this is plus minus, this becomes minus plus here. So if we take Y as common, 1 minus plus G H is equal to G U. So finally we get output Y is equal to G upon 1 minus plus G H into U, or Y by U is equal to G upon 1 minus plus G H. So simply we get this simple block G upon 1 minus plus GH, U is equal to Y. Okay. So next, 4th rule is to interchanging the summing point. So if we have an input A, here we have a input B and we have a summing point, so the output would of this 2 points would be plus A plus minus B. Okay, and then we again have a summing point and we are giving input as C. So what we get, we a plus minus b and then plus minus c. So if we interchange both the summing points, we have a, this is equal to y. So we have a, this here we get getting a plus minus c, and b a plus minus b. So if we see these two are same, so we do not have to do anything, we can simply interchange the summing point without changing any input and output. So next is to move a summing point after a block. So for moving a summing point after a block, let's see, we have a input u1 and we have another input u2. So the output of this summing point would be equal to u1 minus plus minus u2, and then we have another block. So if we simply we will get the output y is equal to g u1 plus minus u2. So if we want to shift this summing block here, what we will do, we will simply draw this as g1, we have the input u1, and this here we have to shift this summing point here plus minus, and we should get the same output as y, which should be equal to g u1 plus minus u2. Here we are getting u1, here we are getting u g1. Okay. So for getting here we have u g1 plus g u2, which is also equal to g u1 plus minus g u2. So we should have this point here. So here we are getting, instead of simple u2, we have simply multiplied by g, and here it is getting u2. So now we will get this output. Okay. So what we have done, we have simply multiplied this u2 by g. So we can simplify this as this. If we are shifting summing block from backward to forward, then we have to multiply by the transfer function of the block. Next point is to moving a summing point ahead a block. So if we have to move this block from here to here, then what we get, again we have a input u1, we have a g ug1 we are getting, here we are giving a u2, so we are getting ug1 plus minus u2. So now we have to shift this block here. So let's draw this as our function g. We have to shift this summing point here. So here we will get plus minus, and this is ulta. Okay, sorry. So we have to shift this summing point here, we have plus minus, and then we have our input u1. We should again get the same output, y is equal to u1 g plus minus u2. Now here what we are getting, this is u1. Okay. So if we are getting here u1 plus minus u2 by g. Okay, this should we get, and how we will get this? We will get this by 1 by g1, and this should be u2. So we can simply divide the block by, with the 1 by g. If we are shifting from summing point from here to here, we can simply divide this by this block. Okay, and we will get the same output as y. So next is to moving a takeoff point after a block. Now we have to move this takeoff point after this block, next to this block. So we have again, we have value g, and then we should get y is equal to u1 g. We have this u1, okay, and this should also be equal to u1, but now we are getting it as u1 g. So this is u1 g. So now we have to this is u1 g, here we are getting. Now we have to divide it by g, and then we will get u1. So this here. Okay. So now we can write it as u1 g, u1 this. So output should not change. Here again we are getting the same output u1 and y is equal to u1 g. Okay. So next is to move a takeoff point ahead of a block. So next we have to move from this takeoff point from here to here. So now again we have g we have input u1, we are getting here at u1 g which is equal to y. We have to shift this block here. Now we are getting here it as input, but here we are getting u1 g. So what we have to do, we have to multiply it by g, and then we are getting u1 g. So this is same. So now we can shift the block from here to here. So this is g and this is g u1. Okay, so we have simply multiplied by g. So this is u1, this is u1, and we are getting u1 g. Okay. So these were the points to reduce the block diagram. And now next topic is let's go to signal flow graph. What are the signal flow graphs? So for complicated system, it is very difficult to reduce the blocks and calculate the transfer function. So for them, what we do, we use the signal flow graph representation. So signal flow graph is an alternate approach to block diagram representation. It is a graphical representation of the relationships between the system variables, and it does not require any reduction because there is a direct formula which is called the Mason's-Gain formula to calculate the transfer function. So we can simply have a signal flow graph, and then we can by using the formula we can calculate the transfer function, and it was developed by S.J. Mason. So that is why it is called Mason's-Gain formula. So what are the properties of signal flow graphs? Signal flow graph can be obtained from any block diagram of a system, and it can also be obtained from the system equation. So if we have a mathematical model, we can obtain the signal flow graph, and if we have the block diagram representation, then also we can obtain a signal flow graph. The equations must be in algebraic form and in S domain. So for calculating the signal flow graph from equations, these equations must be in Laplace transform and in algebraic form. Okay, it is applicable only for linear systems. So this signal flow graph representation can only be used for linear systems only, and cannot be used for non-linear systems. So what are the components in signal flow graph? One is node. So if we have inputs as u and y, output as y, so these are called the nodes of the system. Okay, so these represents a system variable which is equal to the sum of all incoming signal at the node, and outgoing signals do not affect the variable at the node. In branch, a signal travels along a branch from one node to another. So from here to here we can go by G1. So if I have a simple block diagram, G1, and we are getting y as output and u as input. So this is the signal flow graph representation of this particular system. So these are the nodes, u and y are the nodes, and this is the gain G1, and the flow of signal from u to y is called the branch, which is an arrow is showing the direction of the flow. Okay, the signal passing through the branch gets multiplied by its gain. So what y would be equal to G1 u. Okay, so y is equal to G1 into u. So okay, so let's see one example. This is a feedback block. We have u as input, and this is ug upon 1 minus plus gh is equal to y. Okay, so what we can, how to draw the signal flow graph from this point? So we have nodes as u. This is u. Here we are getting e, which is equal to u plus minus yh. Okay, so this is another node e, and then we are getting output which is another node y. So these are the variables which are depending upon the transfer function, and then we have from u to e we have a one unit. We do not have any gain in between them, so we can simply write it as 1. Okay, so next we have another block g from e to y. So we have a block G e to y, and then we have from y to e we have a feedback which is with minus 1. So for plus it is minus, for minus. Okay, so this is the, and b is here, b is this point. Okay, so simply this is h and minus 1. So u, e, b and y are the nodes with symbols representing the node variables. E is equal to 1 u minus b u minus b, and b is equal to yh. So this is the b point, and y is equal to g into e, y is equal to g into e. So from this we can simply get this signal flow graph. Terminologies in signal flow graph: we have an input node with only outgoing system. So this, from, if we can see this graph here, all the signals are outgoing from this, nothing is coming to towards this. So this is our input node, this is our input node. Output node with only incoming branches. If this condition is not met, an additional branch with unit gain may be introduced. So this is called the output node. Okay, and then path, it is a traversal of two connected branches, the directions. So these branches are called the paths, which are with containing the arrow is showing the flow, direction of flow. Forward path, a path from input node to output, it's called the forward path. So in our case we have this forward path, y, e, u. So this is our forward path. Okay, a path which originates and terminates at the same node. So for our example, this is starting from here and terminating in here. So this is called the loop. And the non-touching loop, if two loops are not touching each other and there is no common node, then those loops are called as non-touching loops. And path gain, the product of branches encountered in traversing path is called the path gain. So if this is for forward path, the path gain is g into 1. Okay, and for this loop, this is minus h, so the gain is minus gh. Okay. So Mason's gain formula. This formula is used to find the overall gain of the system, and the formula is given as transfer function is equal to, TFS transfer function is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to n pk del k upon del, where TF is the overall transfer function, pk is the path gain of kth forward path. So if we have number of forward paths, so pk is the gain of kth forward path, and we have total n number of forward paths. N number of forward paths, and delta is the determinant of the graph, and delta k is the value of delta for the part of the graph not touching the kth forward path. So let's see. So delta is the determinant of the graph, which is equal to 1 minus sum of individual loop gains plus sum of gain products of all combination of two non-touching loops, then minus sum of all conditions of 3 non-touching loops, then plus 4 non-touching loops, minus 5 non-touching loops, up to the how many loops you are getting. And then del k is the value of delta, it would be equal to delta, but for the path which is not touching the kth forward path, which is not touching the kth forward path, then it is called the delta k. So let's see one example. This is an example. We have a signal flow graph. We have this is our input node, as there is no incoming branch here, all the branches are outgoing. So this is our input node. Okay, and then we have this y, here all the branches are incoming towards it. So this is our output node. Okay, so from u to y, how many ways are there to reach from u to y? Those are called the forward path. So we can from u to y we can reach u by u, then we can go to a, then a to b, and then b to c, and then c to d, then d to e, and then y. So one forward path we have u, a, b, c, d, e, y. Okay, and with the gain we have 1 into a to b gain is g1, b to c gain is g2, and c to d gain is g3, and d to e the gain is g4, and again e to y it is 1. So the for forward path p1, our gain would be equal to g1, g2, g3, g4. So for P1 path G1, G2, G3, G4. Okay. So for another one, how we can reach from U to Y, U to A, then A to E. This is also a forward path, E, and then E to Y. Okay. So the transfer function for this would be U to A is 1 into A to E, the gain is G5, and then E to Y is 1. So what we have G5. So P2 we have G5. Here we have only 2 forward paths. So we get n is equal to 2 and k is equal to 1 and 2. Okay. So now we have already calculated the forward paths. Let's see the loops. Okay. So let's see how many loops are there. So we have one loop starting from the node B and ending at the node B only. So we have L1 as minus H1. Okay. So let's see another loop. This is starting from C, then D, and then again through this path again to C. So this is also one another loop, and the gain would be G3 into minus H2. So we have L2 is equal to G3 into minus H2. So we have L2 is equal to minus G3 H2. Another one we have, it is starting from D to E and then again E to D, and the gain is G4 into minus H3. So L3. So we have 3 loops here. And we have non-touching loops. How many non-touching loops are there? These 2 loops are touching each other, but this loop is not touching to this one. So L1 and L2 are 2 non-touching loops, and L1 and L3 is also 2 non-touching loops, but L2 and L3 are touching each other. So we get gain of 2 non-touching loops L1 L2, which is equal to the multiplication of L1 L2, which is H1 H2 G3, and similarly L1 L3 H1 H3 G3. Then next is 3 non-touching loops. So we have total 3 loops here, but 2 are touching each other. So we do not have any 3 non-touching loops. So we have these values. Now we can calculate the transfer function using Ness's gain formula. So what is the formula? M is equal to, or transfer function is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to n, which is 2, pk, that is pk del k by del. Okay, so first we have to calculate delta, and delta is equal to 1 minus sum of all the loops, that is how many loops are there, 1 to 3, I is equal to 1 to 3. Okay, and then plus sum of two non-touching loops. So we have 2 non-touching loops here. J is equal to 1 to 2 Lj I. Okay, so what we have? We have delta is equal to L1 minus 1 minus L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L1 L2 plus L1 L3. So this is how we can calculate delta, putting on these values. And what we have, delta k and delta. So what we have to calculate, pk is p1 and p2. So we already have values of pk, delta k. So let's calculate the delta k. So we want delta 1. So we want delta 1. Delta 1 is equal to the value of delta when we remove the P1 path. So if we remove this path, we do not have these values, we have removed them. So value of, sorry, this one will change. So we have removed this path. So what we have only single path, and with this we have this loop. Okay, and we do not have this loop, as this branch is removed, so we do not have any loop here and we do not have any loop here. So we have only one loop. So delta 1 would be equal to 1 minus L1, and delta 2, for calculating delta 2. So we have removed all these. So delta 1, okay, so delta 1 we have 1, and because as we have removed all these dots, so we do, these loops are also removed, and then we have to calculate delta 2. For delta 2 we have to remove the second path, okay. So we remove this part. So now we have all these dots here, so we have all the 3 loops here connected. So now we are getting delta 2 is equal to 1 minus L1 plus L2, okay. So now we have this. So we have delta 2 as, so we have delta 2 as 1, so we have delta 2 as 1 minus L1 plus L2 minus L1 L2, okay, sorry, plus L1 L2. So we get this delta 2 as, and when we put this value in the Mason's gain formula, then we get the overall transfer function like this. This is how we calculate the Mason's gain transfer function using Mason's gain formula and signal flow graph. This is it for today's lecture. With this we have completed the block diagram representation, reduction of block diagram and signal flow graph. In the next lecture we will be studying about the transient response of any system. Thank you.